All right, welcome back to the channel. I want to talk about the Houston Rockets because this team has been overlooked this entire season, especially by the mainstream basketball media that covers the NBA. For some reason, it's like they don't talk about this team at all. And when you look at the Rockets, right, they've been a second seed in the Western Conference for a majority of the season. They've always had a good record this year so far. And when you look at their last 10 games, they're on an 8-2 record within the last 10 games. And they beat some of the best teams in the Western Conference. The other day, they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, which is, of course, the number one seed in the West. And they beat the Golden State Warriors last night, which is, a top 5 team in the Western Conference. And with the Golden State Warriors being on a great incline ever since the Jimmy Butler trade. I made a previous video, talking about it. And ever since then, the Warriors have been balling out ever since they got Jimmy Butler. Again, I made a video talking about it, and I'm not surprised at all that the Warriors got even better when they acquired Jimmy Butler. But, Houston getting this win and playing tough defense on Steph, making him only score 3 points this entire game was a true statement. I felt like Ime Udoka gathered his team around and told him, hey, we're going to go play the Golden State Warriors, 4-time champions. They've been contenders for the last 10 years now. This is going to be a statement game because a lot of people are sleeping on us, and it truly was. The way this team plays defense is just so brutal. They're going to be a tough team to face in the postseason. A lot of teams would not want to see them at all. I'm gonna just show some clips of the of them guarding Steph. Man, look at this. Look at this. Denying Steph Curry the ball. The man barely got any touches last night. Look at that. Great switching. And look at that. They did not want Steph Curry to touch the ball. And that's the reason why Golden State really lost this game. A big factor why they lost this game to Houston last night. And this is definitely has to be one of Steph Curry's lowest scored games ever. Again, look at that. He shot 1 out of 10 from the field, 1 out of 8 from 3. That's Steph Curry's favorite area on the court. The 3-point shot. That's his bread and butter. And again, he scored 3 points, but he was able to dish off 8 assists. He was passing because he had to. They was making it tough for him. And that's what makes Houston such a great defensive team. They have multiple different versatile defenders that can guard all different positions. Dillon Brooks can guard, 1 through 3 really well. He's a true 3-and-D. Dillon Brooks get a lot of hate. I don't know why, man. He's one of my favorite players in the league. He's a true 3-and-D player. Consistent shooter, and he plays great on-ball pressure. And you saw how he was denying Steph Curry the ball. All the players, even Sungun, who's a center / power forward, a post player. The way he was guarding Steph off ball was pretty good, because Steph Curry is a real fast guard, man. He can just burn most bigs, but he had a hard time doing that on Sungun. And then Amen Thompson, hands down the best team's defensive player overall. He was making it tough for Steph, man. And what makes this Houston team so good, not only are they a great defensive team with multiple players that can guard multiple different positions, and they're just really good at switching. This team, right, crashes the boards. They are number 1, as we see this season, in offensive rebounds, averaging 14.8 offensive boards per game. Pretty much 15 rebounds if you round that up. And this team is tough. They're super athletic. They have an identity, and it's defense. They really remind me of the old school, NBA teams from back then. That's why this Rockets team has been one of my favorite teams to watch this season. Honestly, they're super fun to watch play, and not only are they a good defensive team and a good offensive rebounding team, they have a few players that are good one-on-one scorers, yo. Like, man, Jalen Green last night, right? He scored 10 straight buckets in the fourth quarter, as we see. Look at that. Boom. Beautiful crossover on Steph for the 3-ball. Look at that. And Amen Thompson, look at that. Draw the defense, kick it out to Jalen Green. Bucket. You know, I can't show too much clips because it's YouTube. And, yeah, that's what a lot of teams need. Yes, I'll always, emphasize on how defense is important because, if you're a good defensive team, if you're playing a team that's better than you on offense, you can limit their scoring, and that gives you more opportunities to outscore them. That's why defense is so important. But you do got to put the ball in the basket. So that's why it's so good that they have a guy like Jalen Green, an explosive 3-level scorer. Dude is super athletic. We've seen Jalen Green with multiple posters, and he shoots the 3-ball really well. He has somewhat of a mid-range game, and he can score the ball. And Alperen Sengun, great post player, really, really great post player. He's really good at scoring with his back to the basket. He's good on the block, man. A lot of people call him Baby Jokic. You can look it up. That's his nickname. He doesn't average, Jokic type of assists because, Jokic is in another world of his own. But for a center, the guy's averaging 4.9 assists. Basically 5 assists a game, if you round that up, right? And, as we see, averaging 19 points, 10 boards, and he's shooting close to 50% from the field. He really is Baby Jokic, man. He can score on the block. Great touch around the basket. Really good passer. A really, really good passing center. And that's what a lot of teams need nowadays. But, yeah, man, Amen Thompson is definitely going to be all first-team defense. This guy locks up. He's an all-around player. He's a true Swiss Army knife. The way he crashes the boards is tough. And he's super athletic, man. The guy's he's jumping out the gym. And he can really guard 1 through 4. A lot of people, not going to lie, of course, overthrow the term, he can guard 1 through 5. Blah, blah, blah. But there's certain players that can really guard multiple positions. And, Amen Thompson is one of them. Definitely has to make the all-first defensive team this season. If he doesn't, I'll be surprised, man. And, if you just look at, the offensive rebounding numbers, again, it presents your team more opportunities to score the basketball. Second chance points. Alfred Sengun had a tough O-board last night. I'm going to show this clip. Yeah, look. They know he can't shoot, right? So Draymond helped on that. But the thing with the Rockets, look at that. Boom. The thing with the Rockets, right? If you don't get the offensive rebound, or excuse me, if you don't get the defensive rebound on the possession, hey, it's going to be tough for you because they're going to crash that board and get, an offensive rebound to score the ball again. That's why when they get it, teams, if you want to beat Houston Rockets, when you get a defensive stop, y'all going to have to crash the boards heavy because that's what Houston does, man. That's why they've been so successful this season, being the second seed in the West. And credit to Ime Udoka, my Nigerian brother. Shout out to Ime Udoka, man. Great defensive coach. He has great defensive strategy. He's just a brilliant basketball mind. And him and Steph, there's a clip of them kind of going, back and forth, exchanging words after the game. He said it was just, friendly banter, but look at what he said. When people start complaining about foul calls, or crying about physicality, you've done your job. The first step in winning is the battle. So I told my team, when this team starts crying about it, up the intensity, up the aggressiveness, and make the refs adjust to you. That is crazy. And if you look at how the Boston Celtics, right, when he was coaching them back in 2022, if you saw how they guarded Kevin Durant in that, I believe it was the first round series, the Celtics versus the Nets in the 2022 playoffs, Yeah, if you saw how they guarded them, oh my goodness, Kevin Durant couldn't score the ball at all. It was great overall team defense. They made it tough for KD. Kyrie was getting his buckets. Kyrie was scoring the ball well, but it was tough for him as well. This team is really, really good, especially with Ime Udoka being the brilliant basketball coach, defensive strategic coach that he is, man. That's why they've been so good. And I do not want y'all to be surprised if they make a deep playoff run. Again, because the mainstream media does not cover this. They talk about LeBron James, Bronny James, the same stuff. That really doesn't matter at all. Man, people are definitely talking about OKC. You definitely can't cut out the Nuggets. Man, they're putting, former champions. They won the championship, a couple seasons ago, and they got the best player in the NBA. And they still have most of their core, got their chemistry. But, dude, do not forget about Houston. They're going to be a tough team to play in the postseason, Don. Really going to be a tough team to play in the postseason. And you can, if you look at the last couple games, they have the best defensive rating in the NBA. And, dude, this team's a problem. This team is a problem, and they're really fun to watch. Hey, I talked to some people who really, prefer that old school hoops, and I told them, watch the Houston Rockets. Don't complain about, today's NBA, because there are some, teams that have that old school style of play, and that's Houston, man. That grinded out, tough, half-court defense, on-ball pressure type of team, and they do take threes. They do take threes, but not as many as the Boston Celtics, but look at that. They are attempting 35 threes a game, and making about 12 of them a game. But they crash the offensive rebounds. Multiple different players that can switch and guard multiple different positions, and they have two good scorers on their team. And Alfred Sengun, who he could again play make as a center, really good passer out the high post or even the low post, can score with his back to the basket efficiently. Jalen Green, a true bucket getter, man. He can score on all three levels, and he's really explosive and elite when it comes to scoring the basketball. Dillon Brooks, knockdown shooter. Knockdown shooter. They got Steady Freddie. Shout out to Fred VanVleet, good shooter for them as well. He can definitely knock the three ball down for sure. That's Fred VanVleet play style. He really is a 3-point specialist. And if you look at Dillon Brooks' 3-point percentage, right? This is his most efficient year shooting the 3-ball. We know Dillon loves shooting the 3-ball, man. He loves shooting the 3. And look at that. Shooting 39% from 3-point land. Knockdown. And again, he's taking the challenge to guarding the other team's best offensive player, And there's another crazy stat with Amen Thompson. Dude is guarding like multiple. They say he held multiple All-Stars to shooting 40% from the field in their last meetings. All-Star guards that he's holding them to shooting about 40% from the field. Defense that's his bread and butter. Amen Thompson is a true defensive specialist / Swiss Army knife, man. He's cold. He's a cold dude, bro. So shout out to this team. I love watching Houston Rockets play. And again, they're going to be a problem in the postseason. All right? But, hey, y'all tell me your thoughts and opinions on the Houston Rockets this season so far. Do you agree with me? Has the mainstream media really been sleeping on his team? Because, hey, I do not see the mainstream talk about this at all. Or not even, a lot of people talk about the Rockets in general, really. But I'm telling you, this was a true statement game. Especially when, beating OKC and then the next night beating Golden State, who has been on the incline since getting Jimmy Butler. Bro, they're leaving their mark right now. These are really good wins for them. But yeah, tell me your thoughts and opinions. Like, subscribe. Till next video.